Yeah, thank you, Anna, for having me. Let me make several points. First of all, don't get me wrong. I'm a fierce promoter and advocate for China-Indian friendship. Having said that, China and Pakistan are ironclad friends, so we stand shoulder to shoulder on many other things. The third point, for the terrorist attack happening in Kashmir, you should not jump the gun to say that Pakistan is the organizer or the orchestrator of that terrorist attack. By saying that, you are jumping the gun. You should do all the investigation, come up with all the evidence, and then we go through the due process to really get the real criminal and the culprits to justice. Now, it is very encouraging that the Indian defense minister made it the way to Qingdao and attended the SCO defense ministers meeting. Now, on the other hand, it is a great pity that the SCO joint communique was blocked by one single country.
It was not blocked.
Now, this is...
It was not blocked. Everybody was with India on this. No country there, nobody was comfortable. See, you must understand that on terrorism, all countries are with India. You should also join us. All the countries there, victims of terrorism in their own way at the SCO. You know, they are with us. That's why it didn't go through.
I'm not advocating anyone jumping the gun to say that certain country is the organizer of a terrorist attack. When you are faced with a terrorist attack, deal with the terrorist attack rather than jumping the gun to accuse another country.
Then in that case, no, but then we must have, one second, then we must have similar standards. Let me push this to Tara and then to General Bakshi. Dr. Tara Kartha, in that case, why should we jump the gun on Baluchistan? Because China wanted a mention of Baluchistan. Baluchistan, the free people of Baluchistan, 2,700 people killed, murdered, raped, custodial killings, the kind of terrorism inflicted by the Pakistani army. And this is not something that China wants to talk about. China wants to blame India for what's happening in Baluchistan without having a shred of proof. In that context, Dr. Kartha, Victor Gao wants to jump the gun. When it comes to India, he wants to jump the gun, it seems. Dr. Kartha.
I think it's very strange because one of the few things which unites SCO, which is a disparate set of countries, which the rationale for which I'm still able to not really understood what brings these countries together. But the one thing that brings them together is terrorism. I mean, each of your exercises in Russia, for example, the last one which you had, is all on counterterrorism. Uzbekistan suffers from, half of Central Asia suffers from terrorism. So what is the problem I fail to get the thing, get the rationale for not supporting India's stand. Terrorism is unacceptable. And if you take what is the proof, who do you think would do? This is, at some point, this is a little, I'm sorry for laughing, but who do you think would do terrorism in Kashmir? Do you think it would be some country from outside the Indian Ocean? So at least some kind of, change the lines involved, something at least in saying that, look, this is unacceptable. SCO countries must stand together, and that is good for China. And on the Balochistan issue, there is a clear violation of all possible rights for Balochistan. That is not something that anyone can question. It is absolutely on the ground. There have been, some of these people who have been jailed in Balochistan, the Baloch rights activists, have been nominated for peace prizes worldwide, Nobels, etc. So surely it is again in China's interest to say that, look, bring some peace to Balochistan. You've got a CPEC going on there. Surely it is in your interest to bring peace to Balochistan and say, get their interests on board.
You see, it's very sad. It's very sad. Victor Gao completely understands the point out here. General Bakshi, I keep telling the Chinese, I keep telling Victor that, see, we are big countries. We're big countries. It's mutually beneficial for big countries to work together. But General Bakshi, the Chinese, they just mess it up every time. Rajnath Singh went and said in the SCO meeting that you must talk about the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. The Chinese went to the Pakistanis and said, do we have permission? Do we have your permission to talk about the terrorist attack in Pahalgam? The Pakistanis said, obviously not, because we have carried out the terrorist attack. And the Chinese then went and came and told us we would have liked to mention it, but Pakistan has not given us permission. The sad part in all of this is, General Bakshi, I think China is demeaning itself by being so much part of the Pakistan lobby.
You know, Arnab, the greatest stumbling block in relations between India and China is Pakistan. Way back in 1990, the Chinese had given the design for the bomb to Pakistan.
Yeah.
They had provided enriched uranium for the first 4 or 5 bombs to Pakistan. The first test of the Pakistani bomb was carried out at Lock Non.
Correct.
Right? And thereafter, Arnab, 70% of Pakistan's tanks, artillery, jet fighters, submarines, Pakistan's frigates, missile frigates are all from China. Its jet fighters are all from China, and China now wants to give them the 5th generation fighter, the first 5th generation fighter in South Asia. They are planning to give it to them at 50% concession. Now, Pakistan is a country that has attacked India militarily 5 times. For 40 years, it has been waging asymmetric conflict. If you support Pakistan, you can't do a more hostile act against India. And just think of it now. I ask you to reflect. What has Pakistan to offer to China? Compare it with India. 4th largest economy, heading to be the 3rd. We have so much in common. We are ancient civilizations that go back thousands of years. We predate the European civilization by millenniums. We have had always excellent relations in the past, right? So I don't see why, for the sake of a state that is on the brink of economic collapse, that is facing a civil war, that is riven by factions, why are you risking India-China relations for the sake of posing up with a hostile Pakistan, whose sole raison d'etre of existence is anti-India? They want to get the Americans on board to fight India. When the Americans dump them, they want to go to China to fight with India. You give them the equipment, then you say, why are relations being spoiled between India and China?
No, and they also see the Chinese concern. To be fair to the Chinese, General Bakshi, the Chinese concern is, and I think Victor will accept it, that they have invested a lot of money in this Belt and Road Initiative and things like that, CPEC and all that. And they put the money, and if Balochistan goes up in flames, which, by the way, Victor, it is already in flames and it will, then all their strategic interests are lost. I want to tell you, Victor, with absolute sincerity and complete confidence, that Balochistan is going to break away. And for that, the suffering of the Baluchi people, the fact that thousands of Baluchi women have been raped and killed, the custodial killings are happening and people are protesting the custodial killing of a 24-year-old Baloch Mullah Bakhsh, forcible disappearances, 2,700 civilians suddenly disappear without a trace, people shot point blank. Across Balochistan, this is a freedom movement. It's not a freedom movement you can control unless you put your ground forces there. And you would be foolish to put your ground forces in Balochistan. Ordinary people have unfortunately become suicide bombers. Out of frustration, highways are closed. Balochistan can never normalize, Victor, unless the Pakistani army moves out. We know the place well. We know the free people of Balochistan. Now, you can't blame India for that. No, listen. The only way for you to defend your economic interests in the Baloch area is to stand with the people of Balochistan. You can't stand with the people of Pakistan or the Pakistani army and expect to have peace in Balochistan. It does not work that way.
Let me make a point.
The British had to leave China. The British had to leave India. Because they're colonizers.
Let me make a point.
The British left us. The Pakistani army are colonizers of Balochistan. You can't blame us for it. We have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Are you finished? Yeah. Okay. Listen to me. First of all, I met with the governor of Balochistan in Islamabad in November 2024. We had a good chat.
He doesn't represent anyone. He's a puppet. No one. He doesn't represent anyone. He's not a governor. He can't go to Balochistan. He lives in Islamabad. You tell me, Victor, he does not live in Balochistan.
Pakistan. Second point.
He doesn't live in Balochistan. He lives in Islamabad.
Don't interrupt me, Anand. Second point. Don't underestimate the strength and the resilience of Pakistan's sovereignty and integrity, territorial integrity. If India wants to undermine the territorial integrity of Pakistan, India will fail.
No, who is undermining? Pakistan is undermining the territorial integrity of Balochistan. It's not between us, it's between Balochistan, the free people of Balochistan and Pakistan. Why are you getting into it?
You come here to quarrel with me. You are not listening. Where is your ear? Where are your ears? So, India will serve its own best interest by respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of
the Baloch
Pakistan.
people. I agree. We will respect the sovereignty and integrity of the free people of Balochistan.
The so-called independence of Balochistan, you will never get away with that.
It is not our thing. They are going to be independent. How many people said, Victor, listen, how many people said the Chinese will never be free? How many people said, how many people said Hong Kong will remain with UK?
I said that. You will never live to see the independence of Balochistan.
You're not understanding the issue. General Bakshi, please explain to him. Tara, explain to him. It is not our problem. It is not our problem. Baluch are very free, independent people.
You will never see the independence of Balochistan.
Why are you taking sides? Why are you taking sides?
I'm not taking sides. I just respect and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of any country in the world.
General Bakshi, please advise him. I'm telling you, you're going to get into a big mess. Big mess.
Gao, the Chinese are great believers in the forces of history. Right? In 1917, we saw the correlation of the forces of history, gravitate towards the freedom of East Pakistan. Please don't forget, Pakistan has already broken once into two countries because it sought to use Islamic jihadi ideology as a glue to hold together very separate ethnicities. Right? And these ethnicities in Bengal broke away in 1971, despite the Americans sending the 7th Fleet. In 1947 itself, the Khan of Kalat, Victor, was the first one to declare independence. He had direct treaty relationship with the British. Pakistan had no locus standi there. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the lawyer for the Khan of Kalat when he declared independence. And the moment Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the Qaid-e-Azam in Pakistan, he marched in the Pakistan army. It is on a military conquest that Balochistan was taken by force. How long can you keep a people suppressed by force? Could the Japanese suppress the people of China? Could they hold them
I'm so happy you mentioned history. Both of us need to study history more. But allow me to mention, if you follow your logic, then someone may tell you that India, by your logic, may eventually break up into 7 countries. Do you want to see that happen?
No, the thing is, it may be your wish, I'll tell you. It may be your wish, but I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one thing. See, please understand. Please understand. Please, I request you to understand, not to meddle into the internal affairs of Balochistan. You have no right to interfere in the internal affairs of Balochistan. They're a free people. And by the way, why do you want to? You have invested money with Pakistan, but why make it part of the SCO agenda? Why bring in your economic interests into the SCO agenda? This is a multilateral forum. We have Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, other countries. That's your problem. Your problems are not the world's problems, SCO problems.
The result of SCO is to fight against the terrorism of all shapes and forms and colors.
But what about the terrorism of the Lashkar-e-Toiba? What about the terrorism of the Jaish-e-Mohammed? What about the terrorism that killed 27 people in Pahalgam, Victor? Don't be a hypocrite. You're nailed today.
The loudness of your voice doesn't not mean you are reasonable.
Well, what do you feel about the Lashkar-e-Toiba?
Calm down as a nation.
Why are you? I'm very calm, yaar. I'm very calm. Why have you blocked the UN Security Council resolution on the Lashkar-e-Toiba? Why have you blocked the UN Security Council resolution on Lashkar-e-Toiba? Are they aligned to you? Aren't you ashamed that you're supporting terrorist groups openly nowadays? Is this what China exists as a country to do? You want to support terrorism.
China as a sovereign country has full right to decide whatever it wants to decide.
Of course, you have a few.
And you just listen.
Yeah, so
you have no reason
GD Bakshi.
Nation.
Anyway.
Victor Gao, the Chinese are a very pragmatic people. May I, in all sincerity, advise that it would be in your interest to make an outreach to the people of Balochistan
and
safeguard your investment. You must safeguard your massive investments that you have made in the region. You see, and to safeguard your interests, it would be better for you to also make an outreach to the Baloch people who ultimately own the resources of Balochistan. They have unfortunately been treated like a colony, exploited, their minerals taken away, their gas taken away, sold. Not a penny has been given to them. No development has been done. Your people are there in Balochistan. How much development have you seen there? Any development worth the name? People are picked up Gao from the streets. They're tortured and then dropped from helicopters in their home villages and towns, their bodies.
Very bad.
How long can this
Victor,
go on?
Please change your ways. I'm telling you, it's good for China. We can work together in the long term in our mutual interest then.
Thank you for mentioning it. But China will respect Pakistan as any other member of the United Nations, respecting its full sovereignty.
Yeah,
and
but you know, you are being used by the Pakistanis. You are being used by the Pakistanis. You are not going to end up very badly, Victor. On this, I disagree with you.